everybody, this is John on the Camino Frances. This time I'm speaking to you from Rabanal del Camino, and I'm with Father Javier, who's the prior of the Benedictine monastery here in Rabanal del Camino. The Benedictines traditionally provide welcome and hospitality to pilgrims and travellers, and they're doing it here in Rabanal del Camino. Father Javier, tell us a bit about your ministry with pilgrims on the Camino to Santiago.
Thank you, John, and thank you everybody listening and watching this video. We are a very small community. We are 5 monks living here in Rabanal. We came 20 years ago, following a bit also as you mentioned, the tradition of hospitality, which for Benedictines is not something additional. I think is a real essential part of our life. Benedict used to say that pilgrims and guests have to be welcome in the monastery as Christ. And in the Middle Ages, also on the Camino de Santiago, many monasteries were founded to receive pilgrims. We are not so romantic to reestablish this tradition, but in a way, we would like to go back to this time in which a pilgrim was somebody important in the daily life of a monastery. And Rabanal was and is, and hopefully will be, an extraordinary place for living that.
And we're talking here in the garden of the Albergue de Refugio Gauthelmo, run by the Confraternity of St. James. And this garden in normal times would be full of pilgrims having tea and washing their clothes and so forth. And you preach the gospel to these pilgrims, but do the pilgrims teach you anything, Father?
Well, first, in fact, we are in Gauthelmo. They came before we came here, so we are the followers of the confraternity, and we are good neighbors working together for the good of the pilgrims. The question was about...
do you learn anything from the pilgrims?
Well...
Have they persuaded you to walk the Camino?
I mean, I have done the Camino. After a few years living here, it was a great experience. Of course, I learned a lot of my personal experience on the Camino, although I must say that what I really learned was from the pilgrims. Living here every day, being open just to receive, not only to give, because that's the funny thing. You receive so many things and so many experiences, and you listen and you share mine and the experience of the pilgrim, that I used to say that what I am now today is everything I received from, especially from pilgrims, as the Camino opened many times, or in many of the pilgrims, the heart and the life, and they like to share that.
Javier, the garden is empty, and the refugio is closed because of the pandemic. And watching this and watching you speaking will be many, many hundreds of pilgrims who would love to have walked this year. Do you have anything to say to them?
In a way, it's a pity that this year it's very sad. We are living in a paradise when you realize what people are experiencing in many other places is something I don't really understand, why I am here and why other people are in another place. What I could recommend is not the word. I don't like to recommend anything. But the Camino, for those who are walking, is a real metaphor of our life. But you don't need to walk. One of the things you discover that the Camino, the real experience of somebody who is walking, is going inside of all of us. But at the same time, is opening yourself to the other. And at the same time, is discovering that there is another with a capital letter. So for that, of course, the Camino gives you an extraordinary platform. But it's not the only way of discovering who you are, discovering who the other is, and also having the experience of the other with capital letter. So do it. It's not an easy experience. Sometimes you have blisters, whether in the foot or also in the heart. But I think it's something that is really great.
Now, tomorrow morning we set off.
You set off.
We set off. You can come as well. We set off and we will pass the Cruz de Fierro where we'll stop, because over 370 pilgrims have written to us asking us to carry their prayers in the form of a little electronic stone that we will leave at the Cruz de Fierro, and we will carry on to the tomb of St. James in Santiago. Could we ask for your blessing on these prayers as we set off?
Okay, now you want a blessing.
Now we want a blessing.
Well, the reason why we are here, sometimes when they ask, what are you doing in Rabanal? I always said, I am here and we are praying for you. That God may guide your, not only the walk to Santiago, but may guide your mind, your heart, your desires, your goals, your worries, that you feel His presence in everything you experience along the Camino, but especially along the way of our life. And for that, for sure, we will get the company and the blessing of our God, the God of all of us.
Father Javier, muchísimas gracias.
Somewhere along the way, buen camino. Somewhere along the way, I hope you'll find what you're looking for.